Hey everybody, it's Troy from 9 Volt Games, and today I'm going to talk a little shit about YouTube. 5 seconds. YouTube told me to get them within the first 8 seconds. So, I've noticed something weird, and I've been talking to my wife about it with this channel because, she had more success with YouTube and Twitch than I. And I even consulted AI to help me with this. Anyone who's been here for a long time knows that I lost my ability to put ads on this channel within the first year. I've appealed it every year, I appealed it every year for like the first 5 years, and then it was 3 years after that. And I get into an argument with somebody every time, and now it's just AI, so I don't even want to deal with it anymore. I don't want to put ads on this channel. I don't get enough views where it would make a huge impact in my life. I just want to win. I want them to overturn it. I want them to turn my AdSense or whatever it is now back on so I cannot use it. It's kind of like how I went to college to get my degree, and then as soon as I got my degree, I was like, got it in your face, to nobody, and then I didn't use it, right? Just let me have this. So, I forgot where I was going with that. So I stopped trying to build a brand at that point. I was making videos because they were fun for me, as I've definitely said on here before. Like, if I was having a shitty day mentally, before I went and got proper help and figured out what the fuck was wrong with me, I did learn that just making YouTube videos and sitting in front of the TV and playing games, and then, within a couple hours, it would propagate fucking 30 comments, and I'd instantly have people to talk to who had aligned interests. And that's all that this channel has been. So that's why you'll see videos that get, a few thousand views, up to 20,000 views, and I have the same demeanor, and we'll still continue putting out content to 2 weeks later having a video that's got 30 views. The view count doesn't matter to me. The like ratio to view count is the only metric that I actually use here, because I can get 30 people to watch a video and I get 10 likes. That means 1 out of 3 people not only actually watched the video, but liked what I had to say. If that ever goes away, I get 100 views and there's no likes, I might look at the video and be like, all right, I don't, did I have fun doing it? Did I do it to just put a video out or what? And then I actually think that's the only time I ever make any serious decisions about this channel. I promise this is going somewhere, okay? Yeah, at this point, if I've been doing videos more frequently, I'm not trying to build views or get subscribers or any of that. I'm not fishing for anything. I just am really stressed out at work all the time. So I come on and I do videos to, first of all, sometimes I fucking just get so depressed I don't even want to play games, so I'll just sit on my couch and doom scroll, which is horrible. If I don't have my kids or anybody else is here, because I work weird fucking hours, so I'm not alive when anybody else is alive. This is going somewhere, I promise you. Yeah, so anyways, so now I told you what the channel's for and how I measure the channel. I've actually noticed the trend, and this is what I used AI for, to help me out, basically comb through my channel and tell me what I'm doing wrong. I made a video a few months ago that was slightly anti-government, and almost every video I've put out since, only long form videos, have gotten no movement. Some of them move after 2 weeks. The views will start going up and the likes, and I'll start getting comments on it. That's weird to me. there's like 20 people on this channel that I know immediately within the, not immediately, but like within the first 24 hours, they'll watch the video. Some will comment, some don't. That's just the way it goes. But that's what I'm used to. And like I said, I don't treat this channel like a business, so I don't have a schedule. I think I've ended the channel like 3 times for major events in my life. But I know like the number I can count on. And when I disappear for 6 months and I don't do a video and I come back, the first video is usually rough. And then it takes like a week, and then people will be like, oh, you're back, because I'll usually say like, hey, I'm actually going to do a few videos. And I do a few videos and then disappear again. So by the time I hit like the 3rd video, I know what number to expect. And I've hit those. I've actually, with the addition to shorts, which I didn't like at first and now I really like, it's pulled other people over to my channel. So if I put up a short and it gets a few thousand views and I put a video up at the same time, those videos usually get more views. Whether the traffic stays there or not is moot to the number I'm talking about. But after I made that video, my number like depreciated. And like I said, it would go like a week and then it would go up, and I was like, what the fuck is happening? And I'm not one to jump into conspiracy theories, but I've been blackballed by YouTube. And then after I lost my ads, like my big video that got a lot of views for me at the time was "Fuck Google AdSense," was the title. And I think that's why I've lost appeals every time, which is fine. But I know the damage that I did to myself, like by handling it that way. This will go back into it. There's a lot of things that like sometimes people would reach out and be like, this still happens, by the way, which is weird to me because I'm like, you don't pay attention. I don't stream anymore. And I will still occasionally get an email that's like, how much is your time worth for streaming? If I've gotten that within the last 3 months, and I send the nastiest responses back to those people. I'm like, just give me the game and ask me to play it and talk about it for free. If you pay me, I'm doing a job and I feel like you're my employer. And I don't like that because I'm still going to be honest, but I'm going to do it in a way that's not offensive, and then that's not being genuine. And I don't like that. So that's why I've always looked down on people like that. And that attitude and bringing that to conventions and having some of my staff roast the enforcer, and then we couldn't get media badges the next year magically. And I love that shit, by the way. I wouldn't trade that for the world. That was one of the best experiences ever. But doing this stuff, calling out people, getting in fights with fucking people who ended up being like a legendary developer, that one, Frank Cifaldi, I don't fucking like him. When he was nobody, him and I got into a big argument on Twitter. That didn't help because he ended up being a big dude at Capcom. That type of shit. I put my foot in my mouth a lot. One of my favorites, the year that we got media, and there was 3 of us that were doing interviews. It was me, Chris, and Dan. We all did something so horribly embarrassing while wearing a 9-volt game shirt. I was at an after party that we had only got into because we knew the right people. And there was game developers there. There was editor-in-chief of PC Gamer. I had a drink with him on the terrace at this bar. It was like surreal to me. I mean, he's not a celebrity, but to me, this person was a celebrity. And fucking Marn and Justin Wong were sitting behind me having drinks with Dan. And I explained what 9-volt games was to the editor-in-chief of PC Gamer. And he gave me a compliment about like, oh, you know, because I said I sit in front of the TV and I talk about games while I play them. And I talk about retro games. And he basically was like, I like that style, like, to watch for myself personally. And he asked about like doing a publication or whatever. And that's where I came out with the attitude of like, nah, I don't want to get paid for it because then I'm not being genuine. And like, I was offensive. And that's the way that I talk. And again, I didn't go get diagnosed with anything until like a decade after the story I'm telling you. It probably would have helped a lot to be like, I'm sorry, I have this problem. And then, you know, I would have been cut some slack because it wouldn't be PC to be rude back to me. But that type of shit, my favorite, this one is my favorite. This is my favorite thing from PAX that we did that ended up like foot in the mouth, super fucking embarrassing. We were in line at Riot Games, and League of Legends didn't blow up the way that it was, like the way it did yet. Like, we had friends who played it, but not everyone in the group even knew what it was. So we're in line because they were giving away some in-game content. I don't know enough about the game, but we had two dudes that actively played it, and I had a time slot with Riot Games to interview them. It would have been on this channel again before League of Legends blew up. That was the game? Sorry, I'm a little cooked right now. Before League blew up, that would have done for this channel. You know what that would have done? Immediately, like, because some of the games that we saw at PAX, even after I got blackballed by YouTube, some of the videos for games that ended up blowing up, like, we interviewed the dudes who were making Orcs Must Die when they were kids. Like, the game hadn't released yet. We did an interview with them. Like, Dan interviewed them. I recorded it. It was fucking awesome. I got a lot of views at the time. And then after that game blew up, I got a lot of views. So we're in line for Riot Games. I'm not 100% sure if they are, but I believe they're a British company because everyone that I talked to was British or English. I'm sorry if I'm butchering. I don't know which one is which. To be honest, I'm American. But they had the accent, okay? So this lady with a clipboard and a headset, obviously working with PR, comes over and says, do you guys have a time slot? And we're like 15 minutes out. So we're like, yeah. And she was like, you don't have to wait in line. Just come with me. Chris said something back to her, and I don't remember what he said, but he said it with the most horrible, like, Cockney accent. And she turned around and she said, just wait right here, and never came back and got us. And we had lost our slot, and it was done. And then I told this story on this channel, so I'll make this one brief. This video's turned into something else. It's going to be how I ruined my YouTube channel. And then I'll explain at the end what the fuck I even started this video for. But I'm sorry, I got real excited about this. I had a time slot with 2K. I didn't have a time slot yet. I'm sorry. They told me to come up to their booth, talk to a specific person about getting a time to talk about. It was either Borderlands 2 or the DLC for Borderlands 2. I'm not 100%. There was a big ass. It had to be the DLC because it was a big ass Borderlands. I don't even know what you call it. There was fucking statues. There was a statue of Krieg the Psycho. I don't care how it's spelled. It's because my name's Craig. I'm gonna do that. But it must have been the DLC. So we go over. They told us that we would get bumped to tomorrow or the next day because there was no time slots. And someone from Machinima, doesn't exist anymore, came up behind me and got right in. And I was super fucking loud about it because Chris came up and he was ready to go because he was going to film everything. And I explained what happened very loudly without leaving the booth. And it was the second time that Machinima cut into something that we were doing because we were nobody and they could just get away with it. The first one was Far Cry. We all were trying to play Far Cry together. There was 8 of us, so we all wanted to play Far Cry 3 multiplayer together. And they split us fucking 4 and 4 people with Machinima. Why would you do that? Anyways. So Sega was the only company that's ever been cool at conventions. They're not the only company that's been cool with this channel. Telltale has always been cool with me. Konami is cool if I go through the right channel. Like if I contact them about something on this channel, like sometimes they put copyrights. They don't always take them off, but sometimes they do. So if I go the right way, Konami's been good. But Sega has been the coolest company to me personally. When I took this channel more serious, and I was actually going to conventions and stuff, and I was putting in the effort, and they actually had like a PR team who checked my channel out and either felt bad for me or just saw that I was doing work and thought like maybe this person will actually go somewhere, so let's be nice, right? That's how you should treat every business meeting. So, and I was always super professional with them. So we didn't have a time slot, but the big thing that Sega had at that show was Aliens Colonial Marines. I did not know who actually made that game. So we go over and I talk to the PR person at Sega, and I explained who I was, and I said, hey, I didn't pick a time slot, but this person said to come on over and talk to someone, about getting in and seeing a game and getting like exclusive to play it, and maybe talking to the person who created it and or who's making it. And we go in there, and Randy Pitchford climbs up on the fucking stage. I didn't interact with him, and I don't know him. I just think it's funny that I think of that guy's name, I think of Borderlands, and we had just come over really salty from Borderlands, and I didn't even pay attention to the gameplay in the background. Chris and Dan did. I was like fucking scowling at this man, because I was like, I just got burned by your company. Like I took it like he was the person. And I didn't say anything to him or do anything super embarrassing until the end. Because Dan and Chris told me, they're like, I told you, I barely paid attention to the gameplay. I listened to what they were saying about the game. And Dan and Chris were like, that game looks horrible. The AI looks stupid. In the demo, he's like, I don't remember which one, but I remember one of them saying, I don't know why you would let some people see that if they were going to write about it or talk about it on the internet. So I missed all that part. So the Sega rep, who was super nice to me, took me out there, and Randy Pitchford was gone. He was just there to talk. The other 2K guy came over, or Gearbox, sorry, whoever it was, Gearbox came over, and they were like, all right, so you guys want to play the game? And they had these cool exo loaders with a screen in it, and you could play a demo of the game. And all three of us were like, nah, we're good. And they were like, you could be like some of the first people to play it. And we said it again. They had like a little rope, velvet rope that you had to walk around, and the exit was over there. And all three of us, unprompted, we were saying no thank you as we were lifting the velvet rope and just ducking out of there and took off. I went back to Sega later, and I ended up playing some Virtual Fighter with one of the Sega reps there, and I kicked the shit out of him, by the way. I'm pretty sure we have that on camera. So we're cool, and they were still nice to me after. They were actually nice to me the year after when we got denied press badges. They still said they would give us interviews, so that was super nice. Them and I think Telltale, they were the only. Yeah. So anyways, that's how I ruined my channel. But when I did, I slimmed down my numbers to make it so like I can at least manage everything. If people leave comments, I get to reply to every comment, or at least acknowledge every single comment and honestly read it. And I get to go through and I get to moderate my own comment section. If someone's being an asshole, I remove them immediately. But now you can't just block people. You can only hide them from your channel. So I write something horrible back to them, and I hide them so nobody gets to see it but them. And that's the last interaction that we get to have. That's nice, because that's how I like to do things in real life, right? If I don't want to talk to somebody anymore, you say something fucking horrible to them, and then you leave. That's probably not healthy. But, so yeah. I slimmed down the numbers. I'm at the point where I'm like, all right, maybe I'll cap out at 500 views on a video. And then, I'll go to the next video and I'll cap out around the same. Maybe it'll be 400. It depends on the frequency of videos that I'm doing. But after I made that post, it was about Epstein files. Because I'm a fucking survivor, childhood survivor of that shit. And I don't fucking play victim, or I don't use that for empathy. I don't use that for any personal gain whatsoever. But I don't use the term survivor lightly. Like, there are people who've been through shit that I've been through, who I know personally, who slit their wrists in a bathtub because they can't handle it. When we get to adults and we suppress stuff for so long when we're kids, some people can't handle that shit. I went to a mental institution in 2019. So like, I feel like certain stuff that I don't like talking about politics on this channel because I know what it will do to channels. And if you don't have that conversation with somebody, or you don't have that, there are people on here I disagree with all the time, but it's never my choice to bring up the disagreement. I don't want to talk to anybody like that online unless I'm, bored and have some downtime and just see someone easy to be like, why are you so dumb? Like, go to school, go read a book or something, get off the internet, those people. But like, I moderate everything in here, and I keep a very close eye on my analytics app. And I've always known what I've done wrong on here, not just from the attitude end or, really bad severed business ties with companies and people. I don't take shit, dude, and I'm not gonna have anybody tell me that I can't fucking swear. I'm an adult. Go fuck yourself. I'm pretty sure if someone wants me to sell Adam and Eve products, yeah, you really, the way that I talk, I can say that like this controller's not working and it's being a cunt. I didn't call that to a woman. That's not a gendered insult with me. If you bring it up, you're doing it. I grew up in a house with mainly women, strong women, and my mom called the toaster a cunt all the time. Inanimate objects, everything. So that's not how I was raised. But I've had people tell me that for business stuff, like, you can't talk like that if we're going to have a partnership. I was part of another channel, and I don't know why they even asked me to do videos for them, and then asked me not to swear and be myself. Be like, who'd you fucking hire? Who'd you hire? Go hire somebody else with their Mr. Rogers ass. I'm not doing that shit. There's plenty of colorful fucking... I'm ranting. Whatever. But that's so that's what we have treated that, the audacity. So aside from all that stuff, I don't do lengthy descriptions. I don't do thumbnails. I don't do tags half the time. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. The point is, I know that people find it. And after I put up that video, magically my stuff can't be found. Sometimes for a week, sometimes at all. And I don't read every fucking email I get from Google and YouTube, so I asked for some AI help, and I got the same, here's what you could do to improve your channel, and it's pretty much this. I just did an AI voice, or attempted to, and it told me all the things that I already knew. So I was like, okay, nothing changed. What happened? And I was talking to my wife about this, and she's in agreement. It's the way the way I talk kind of buries me, and that's fine. But this particular one happened after that. That's weird. I don't know what this video was supposed to be about. It was just like, I'm tracking it. There's some weird shit afoot. And it's like, it's also like that on my Instagram. Because some stuff will get, I know what my like range is. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'll post something after something. My Instagram is very, how I feel. That's a personal one. That's not a 9volt games business page. That's my personal shit. But I leave it open because I'm not a bitch. So but I've noticed that over there, if I post something particularly spicy, my next post will have nothing. It'll have like fucking single digit views and it'll have nothing. And like the previous post would have had like 20 likes. It's fucking, I'm watching you. Watching me. But thank you guys for watching. Thanks for letting me rant. I'm definitely just going to say this is how I ruined my YouTube channel. That's going to be the title of this. I do have more video game stuff coming. I got really wrapped up in fucking Yoshi in the mysterious book. And now I got to work my way backwards. So 007, I'm very close to beating that. That one will get a review. And then I'm going to work backwards to Pragmata. And that one's going to get a big review. That's going to get a, I'm sitting in front of the TV playing it, talking to you, because that's the type of game I actually can do that with. So, thank you guys for watching. Content coming. Psh.